SQ, welcome back to the Fitness and Lifestyle Podcast, mate. Round two.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back, my man. Great to be back.
It's very good to see you, mate. It's been a while. I mean, albeit seeing you through Zoom, but I'd much prefer to see you in person. But obviously, still pretty crazy times at the moment with coronavirus, which is probably no need to even really mention it. But I'm sure we'll touch on the changes and stuff that you've kind of had to make and adaptations you've had to make throughout the episode. But how are you going, mate? You well?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm very good. Yeah, like you mentioned, it's a very weird, crazy time. I know, we're all affected by it in some way. So it's just, yeah, I'm going well personally. I'm just, trying to stay as positive as I can because it is a weird time, and this is the time now to be, trying to spread as much kindness and love to everyone really right now, because it is such a weird time and everybody's affected by it in some way.
I love that. Yeah, I'm exactly the same, man. Especially the last, throughout this whole process, I've tried to be like that, like try and just stay away from negativity, not watch any of the news, and not get caught up in conversations with people that are just the same shit over and over again. You're just hearing people whinging and complaining, which I understand because it is frustrating and it's very hard for some people, but it's not going to change it. It's not going to help anything, and it just manifests into everything else feeling like shit. So I've really gone out of my way, particularly in the last few weeks, just through social media and stuff like that, to try and get other people on board as well, because it's easy. I've said this in the last episode. It's easy to get caught up in the negativity and just be the same as everyone else and join in the conversation that everyone else is having. But it doesn't take much to make the decision, first thing in the morning, to say that today I'll be positive. I'll be the difference. I'll be that person that someone talks to at the cafe or at the supermarket that, they leave there feeling much better about themselves. So, yeah, how have you found it in terms of being around it?
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, 100%. Anyone who follows me on Instagram will see my stories, and what I'm trying to do right now is every single day we have a choice. We need to focus on the things that we can control. It's literally that simple. So right now, there's things that we can't control. So we don't focus on that. We focus on what we can control, and we make the best of what we can do in the situation. It's absolutely vitally important right now to switch off the news. I get that we need to touch base with it every now and then, but the news is so fucking negative, man. It's like so negative. So we need to turn off the news, and we need to focus on what we can control. And right now, more than ever, we need to protect our energy. So what I mean by that is not watch the news, not surround yourself with people who are negative and who are continually whinging about this, not getting sucked in to that tunnel, not getting sucked into that channel, and removing yourself from that and staying in your lane, and just spreading positivity. Like my Instagram story is all about spreading positivity, focusing on what you're grateful for, doing gratitude check-ins with people every single day in my Insta story. And just trying to be as positive as you can and spreading that positivity, but also at the same time, spreading kindness, spreading love, like checking in with your family, checking in with your friends, seeing how people are doing. I think that is vitally important right now. And the more we do that, we're going to help each other through this, because at the end of the day, we are in this together, and everyone is affected by this in some way, whether it's their employment, whether it's they can't travel overseas, whether it's less income, whether it's gyms are closed, they can't see them. Like my grandparents are 85, 87 in Ballarat right now. I can't see them. So we're all affected by it. So it's just about being as positive as you can, practicing gratitude, and just spreading love and kindness everywhere you go, and not getting sucked into that negativity, and switching off the news.
100%. You need to, because it's like you said, there's nothing. You're not turning on the news and finish and turn the TV off and going, fuck, how many good stories did I see there? I feel so much better. Their whole, the news, and to be honest, like I said, a lot of people that you talk to at the moment, it's all just negative shit. So, I've been trying to, I've been sharing some links and stuff with not only obviously my own podcast, but other podcasts and stuff that I listen to for people to jump on board that I think are going to be help others feel positive about themselves and change their outlook on the whole thing. So is there anyone that you've been following along with, whether it be on Instagram or whether it be podcasts or audio books or stuff like that you've found help you stay in that kind of positive mindset? Because I will add before you go, it's easy to say, like we're saying right now, like you got to be positive, But there's still been
Yeah.
days where I've gone, like this week we go into stage 4. There's still days where I go, fuck, this is never ending.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things that are frustrating. So it's easy to get kind of go out of that
Yeah.
positive headspace and go back negative again. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
is there
know what you
anyone?
mean. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I mean, I think rather not really anyone, but I think more so strategies. So having tools in your tool belt to be able to grab on,
Mm,
to be able to use if you are feeling like that, because you are going to, there's not one person on earth that isn't going to feel down at some moment in this period. Okay, we all are.
yeah.
So it's more about what happens and what do you do when you do feel like that. Because I felt like that the other day. I felt a bit dull. It was like nothing really happening. It was a bit boring, and I did feel like that. So what do you do in that moment? That's what I'm more about. So things like I literally have done this, and I've spoken to other people about doing this. Is like writing a list of all the good things that you can do in this period. Literally write a list. Let's go through them now. Meditate, go for a walk, move your body, read a book, listen to a
Mm,
positive podcast. Write a list of all the positive things on one side. Then on the other side, write a list of all the things that's going to get you into that negative mindset. Drinking alcohol, staying up late, binging on Netflix, not exercising, not moving your body, not going outside for a walk.
mm.
Okay. And you have those two lists and you just focus on the good list. You focus on continually doing that, and that's how you come out of those negative moments. Because if we're here and we're in 6 weeks or other parts around the world, or things are closed, and if you continually do things that aren't good for you, you're going to get into a bad routine. You're going to stay up late. You're going to lose that structure of your day. You're going to lose your motivation to go for that walk or to do your home workout or to do your meditation, which you normally would. And then you're just going to slowly start to decline. And
Mm.
I've seen it with people. So it's about reversing that energy, going back to all the good things you can do, and staying in that lane.
Yeah, we touched on this a couple of episodes ago when I did a chat with India Vine. We spoke about manifestation and how obviously we always talk about how to manifest the positive things in our life and the positive and healthy habits. But it's the same process that occurs when you end up doing those negative things, like you've just said. So it's like one
100%.
thing here, it's a thing here, it's having an extra drink here, it's watching TV a little bit longer here, it's sleeping less here. And then over time, those small things, they build up and then it ends up being just a lot of unhealthy or negative
Yes.
habits. The same way as we try and promote building up healthy habits, you add in small things here and there. You reduce your calorie intake. You go on a bit longer of a walk. You train a bit harder. All that type of stuff. So it's important to keep in mind. And I think people need to just be a little bit more self-aware of their own habits because there isn't as
The
much
one.
structure. There's not as much structure at the moment with our days. It's hard to notice the little things that you start to do each day or the little things that you're not doing anymore each
Yeah.
day that eventually kind of build up and snowball into a bigger
I
thing.
definitely agree. And I agree. It's the small habits added up daily, but it's also, I think, another one to help the listeners out there. It's also having perspective. I
Mm,
100% get that life is a little bit tougher right now, okay, because we're all affected in some way, like I mentioned, but still having perspective. Life is still good. You still have a roof over your head. You still have access to clean water, okay? We still have access to food. We still have a loving family. You don't need a lot to be happy.
yeah.
There's a lot of people around the world right now that have it so much worse than what we do. Most of your listeners will probably be in Australia. So we do still have it good. And it's about focusing on that. Yes, you might not have things that you used to right now, but don't focus on them. Focus on the things you do have, which is access to clean water and a roof over your head and technology to do video calls with your family and friends and things like that, where that's going to bring happiness. So I think perspective, and I think just continually creating good habits to create that energy flow rather than those negative habits each day, which is going to have you decline. And it's about just focusing on that and just being consistent and knowing also that it is okay to feel down. Like
Yeah.
remind yourself that we're in a fucking world pandemic. So if you are feeling down, that's okay. That's okay. That's normal. You're stuck at home right now and recognize that, be okay with it. Remind yourself we're in a world pandemic and then immediately switch the energy by going to do something like I mentioned from that good list before to then get yourself out of it.
Mm. And we've mentioned the word a couple of times, adaptation or having to adapt. So You personally, with your business, obviously a lot of your stuff's online, but even with your training and stuff, what are some of the ways that you've had to adapt so far? Because I think the people that are, quote unquote, winning in the
Mm.
pandemic at the moment are those that are able to adapt the quickest. So, what have you had to
Yeah, the
do to
biggest,
adapt your regular kind of
yeah,
lifestyle?
yeah, the biggest challenge for me personally on that question is just goddamn gyms being closed. I mean,
Fuck.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like bottle shops are open, but
Yeah.
gyms are closed. Look, I
I
won't
mean,
get into it. I won't get into
I
more of
mean,
that.
I,
But
I was yesterday. We were walking down Chapel Street, and on the corner of Chapel and Toorak, there's a Cocoa Black chocolate store. Fucking stage 4, and it's open. And I mean,
yeah,
you're not allowed to do one-on-one PT in the park, but you can go and
yeah,
walk into a shop and buy chocolate. I mean,
it's
it's backwards.
crazy. Yeah, I was talking to a friend in LA about this just yesterday. How
Mm.
all the bottle shops are open, people can go and drink copious amounts of alcohol, but you can't go and train at a gym. Like the one thing that's going to build your immune system, have you feeling good, like your mental health, your mental
Yeah,
fitness is everything. And that's the thing I'm worried about most in this as a PT and online coach is how much people are going to be affected with their mental health from that alone by not being able to exercise properly and being stuck at home. Like I know how much that affects my mental health when I get injured or I can't train. That affects my mental health. So that's been the biggest way I've been affected is not being able to train in my normal home gym and stuff like that. So I mean, still exercising. This is what I'm trying to get that message out. Still go for the walk. That's what we are allowed to do. Definitely still do that. I've been going for a walk in the morning. Been going for a walk in the afternoon for an hour each. Okay,
yeah.
I'm being able to do about 15,000 steps a day. So I've been tracking my steps and making sure I'm going 2 1 hour walks. Okay, which equals about 15,000 steps.
Just
And
dob
doing
yourself, dob yourself in there, brother. 1 hour a day exercise now. You know the rules.
Oh, it's only one now. Oh, I've just got a slap on the wrist, mate. Slap on the wrist. So 1 hour exercise a day. But I mean, moving your body in a way that you're not normally used
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
So, I mean, from home, we're not normally used to training like that. So I think that
yeah,
the positive of this is how can I move my body in a way that's not normally used to. So then when I do come out of this lockdown, I'm
yeah,
going to be more functional. I'm going to have a better flexibility and also just focusing on other things that you wouldn't normally do, like stretching
yeah.
as a PT. I mean, I'm terrible at stretching, I'll admit. So spending 20 minutes now doing that every single morning, doing some more core work where I wouldn't really normally do that. So just focusing on what you can do and doing things that you normally wouldn't do, I think that's probably my best advice.
On the topic of doing stuff you wouldn't normally do, I don't know if these questions come up a bit for you, but something that I've got a lot is, and I've even found it myself, for those that had body composition goals pre COVID lockdown. So when we could still go to the
Yeah,
gyms and stuff, and you've got access to a full set of gym equipment. You're controlling your calorie intake, and you're either trying to build size or you're trying to lose body fat or whatever. Now, a lot of people just don't have access to the right or enough equipment to
yeah,
train in the way that's most it's optimal for what their current goal is. So what's your recommendation been for those that are kind of
yeah,
stuck with what to do with their body composition, like whether they should just stay at maintenance, whether they should be in a calorie deficit, even though,
yeah.
like, or whether they should be in a surplus trying to gain size, but they've only got a set of 5 kilo dumbbells at home. So they're having to do fucking 50 reps of curls to feel anything in their biceps. So how do we work around
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. My advice is the show goes on. The show goes on, and allow me to explain. Allow me to explain that. So the show goes on. So if your goal was to get lean right now, okay, you can still get lean right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Nutrition is everything. I've been in this game for 15 years. Okay. I would argue that someone right now in lockdown who stays on track with their nutrition but doesn't exercise is going to look better after lockdown who eats like shit, but he's exercising every day with the 1 hour workout and the home workouts.
Mm.
Okay. So without question, the show goes on by sticking to your nutrition. So if your goals, let's use person A's goals was to get shredded and now they don't have access to gym.
Yep.
Okay. Do what you can with the energy expenditure by going for your walk and doing your hour workout with your bodyweight stuff or whatever you've got at home. Do the best you can, but stick now more than ever to the nutrition. Stay 100% on track with that. Yeah, you might have to reduce them a little bit, okay, because you're not exerting as much as you would in the gym. So reduce them by 5 or 10%, but still keep going, okay, if your goal is to get lean, right? Because the nutrition in 15 years experience, I've worked with over 5,000 people with my online coaching business. I've transform myself. The nutrition is everything, and you can still control that right now. Okay. The person who's trying to gain weight might be a little bit harder. Okay. I will admit, because how do we gain weight? How do we put on size? Well, we have to overload the muscle. Okay. That's a key piece of the puzzle. So that person B might be a little bit hard, but still keep the calories high. I would not drop them significantly, because then we have a higher mountain to climb at when the lockdown is then finished. So I would still keep the calories high. I would still keep that. I would do what I can from home. Yes, it's going to be harder because you're trying to build muscle, but I would still keep the calories high if that was my goal. I probably wouldn't keep them as high because I'd be conscious of gaining fat, but I wouldn't reduce them significantly. Then I lose size in these 6 weeks, which is then going to be harder later on.
Yeah. In terms of training splits, let's say someone's got just the bare minimum of stuff. They've got some bands, a couple dumbbells, and then obviously access to chairs and shit like that to do certain exercises and stuff at home. What do you think is an optimal training split to be following at the moment? You know, someone like you or I, who usually has access to a full gym, we might go in and follow a split, something like a push-pull legs, something like that, where we can really target certain movements. But now all of a sudden you go do a push workout and you can only do kind of a handful of exercises, and it's really hard to overload. So how are you setting up your training split? And for those that are just wanted to be training just for general health and well-being, what do you think is a good training split to follow at the moment in terms of breaking it up into movements?
Yeah, goalposts need to be shifted a little bit, because obviously we don't have access to as many exercises. So I'm running a 6-week challenge starting on Monday. It's an at-home 6-week challenge just to get people moving.
Yeah.
Everything I'm writing out for my clients, okay, is full body based. So if you come in where like you and I normally, you know, chest and tries, back and bis, legs, we can't follow that split because we don't have access to such a range of exercise. So I'm doing my own training, what I'm doing with my clients, I'm all about full body. So I'm writing a list of, the client will contact me. Some have barbells, some have kettlebells, some have dumbbells. That's great. They'll let me know all the equipment they have. Then I will then write a huge big list of all the exercises they can do. And then I will write them out a training program, full body based. So we are using those exercises, and then we're focusing on different full body exercises each day, so you're not just repeating.
Yeah.
Okay. So what a basic training split might look like would be like a Monday, Tuesday full body, Wednesday rest, and then like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday full body, adding core to the end, adding an hour workout, adding a little bit of HIIT. Some of them might have a spin bike from home. If they don't know, we can do other forms of HIIT. We can do squat jumps. I mean, I still believe we can still get in shape training from home. My last 6-week challenge, I'll shout out my client, David Ellis. He got some of the best results that I've ever seen in any of my 6-week challenges in 3 years. And it was an at-home 6-week challenge. Okay. His proof of it. I believe you can still do it. You just need to be disciplined. You need to be consistent. You need to understand, it might not be as fun. Like, we're not going to have music blaring. We're not going to have the vibe. Yes, I get that. But you still can move your body, and that alone we need to be grateful for. Okay. Yep. So focus on that. And I still believe you can still get some great results. You just need to be smart.
Yeah. I think a lot of people at the moment as well, it's like the first time they've probably actually had some form of structure with their exercise. A lot of people are actually getting into a routine of training for the first time, or maybe it's been put off for a long time, because whether it's, you know, commitments with work or whether they've just gotten lazy or whatever. But now, because exercise is literally probably one of the only things that we can do outside, there's a lot more people that are exercising. So in terms of results, you probably are more likely to see the best results possible. And there's no excuse. Like, you've got time to prepare your food. You've got, you know, time to get good sleep. You've got time to hydrate. You don't have commitments where you're going, you know, all over the place. You've got time. Time is our biggest asset. So now everyone has it. So it's really, there's less excuses now to see results.
Man, I 100% agree with you, DK. I 100% agree with you. It's now more than ever. I was watching a few things on Instagram. A few people were talking about, I can't remember, but yeah, like now more than ever is the time that we can get in shape. This is what I'm saying to my network of people, my clients, my social media, is now we have the time. You can control your sleep. You don't have to get up early and drive an hour through traffic, so you can get more sleep. You're at home, so you can drink more water. You can go out and do your exercise because it's something to look forward to. You can do home training because you're bored, and you've now got structure, and you can do that from home. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's just getting people to get in that lane, get outside of the lane of binging on Netflix, you know, not being lazy, eating junk, drinking alcohol. It's that getting out of that and being here, okay, all right, let's do the best I can here. Let's do something positive. All right, I'm going to train. I'm going to stick to my diet. I'm going to do my cardio. I'm going to get extra sleep, and I'm going to fucking come out of this better.
Yeah.
It's just getting in that mindset, and that's just what I'm trying to spread that message to as many people as I can to get in that lane. And let's all do this together. And in 6 weeks here in Victoria, we're going to come out of this leaner, feeling better, more time, and we're going to be refreshed, because this will be over in 6 weeks, in my opinion. Because when you go out in the streets of Melbourne right now, it's a ghost town, right? And I was just up in Gold Coast and for 5 weeks, and there was people everywhere. They were almost at normal, close to being as normal as possible. And I believe we will get there, because it has to go down with everyone being from home. And then when these 6 weeks come up and we're ready, then and we're ready to get out and do normal things, you want to be feeling good about yourself rather than 8 kilos on, depressed. You know, you just don't want to be in that lane.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, man. Hey, if you close your mouth, it almost looks like you've got a mask on, mate. You don't even need to wear one. You can just walk around. That is some seriously impressive beard growth.
Man, I actually, barbers have closed and I'm shattered. All right.
James Harden.
This is probably the longest my beard's been for a while. So I need to order some clippers, man. Otherwise it's gonna, in 5 weeks time, this will be crazy. So I need to do some maintenance.
Hey, mate, before we wrap up, is there anything that you've been doing in lockdown that you weren't doing before, like something completely different? You know, I've talked a little bit about recently how this is such a good time to, you know, learn a new skill or dive into something that you haven't probably done before, or you know, take your mind off things by going and doing something completely different. So there may not be, but is there anything that you're doing at the moment that you'd never really done before up until now?
Yeah, definitely. Just some things I touched on before. Definitely wasn't stretching enough. So there's
Mm-hmm.
one example to answer your question. Definitely wasn't doing enough core. So I'm focusing on those two things in the morning. I've been really consistent with cold showers. Um, I've been a lot more present, because I feel with my workload and going through traffic and getting my cardio and getting my weights in, everything was so crazy. So I feel like I'm been enjoying the bit more of the downtime
Yep.
and trying to be a little bit more present. I have been really focusing on growing my mindset in this 6 weeks. I'm making that a huge focus. I'm not going anywhere near alcohol, and I'm really trying to focus on growing my mindset. So listening to more podcasts, no news, and really just only trying to focus on things that are benefiting me. That's my mindset, and that's what I'm really trying to do in this lockdown. So yeah, I mean, there are some examples of things I'm doing, and I mean, moving my body in a way I'm not normally used to. I'm normally going to a gym and focusing on overload and bench press and machines and cables, where now I don't have access to that. I'm trying to focus on moving my body in different ways, and just trying to make the best of the time that I possibly can.
That's awesome, mate. Well, I appreciate your time today, legend. Well done on staying so positive. I mean, I was just saying to Danielle last night, like you're definitely someone that, you know, you're the example of what I'm trying to tell people to be like. Like if I go to, you know, even when things are normal, if I go and catch up with you, I know automatically as soon as I've gone there, I'm going to feel good, just because you've always got that positive vibes and positive energy. And it's something that everybody can benefit from, and something that everyone has a choice to do as well. So keep it up, brother. And I appreciate you coming on the show again. And I look forward to hopefully smashing a session in the gym in the very near future.
Definitely, man. And thank you for having me on again. And same to you, brother. I mean, you know, we've been friends for a while, and you have my full support, brother. You're killing it. You're doing great things. So keep spreading the good message, man, and keep fighting the good fight for sure.
Appreciate it, legend. Guys, thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you've enjoyed the show, which I'm sure you have, we'd love for you to take a screenshot of the show and post it up on your Instagram story. Tag myself and tag Simon. I'll have all his website and his social media links in the show notes below. Thanks again, mate, and have a great day.
Same to you, my man.